Oh, it's kind of frosty outside, but I'm about to melt all that with my urine. Anyway, just stepping off the road here. Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't. We're in the middle of winter here. It's, I don't know, early June here in New Zealand, Southern Hemisphere winter. Over there you can see Mount Ruapehu, which is still volcanically active, could blow its top anytime. But we're going to check out some of the plants growing here. I want to take a look at this beautiful grass species, which is in the genus Austroderia. This is Austroderia toto. Oh Christ, look at all the lichen. Oh yeah, look at that, my ADD's kicking in. You also got Phormium right here, which is a horticultural atrocity in California, but here it's native and it's quite lovely to see. It's in the Asphodelaceae, the aloe family. But this grass is really something else, and it's nice to see because there's quite a few invasive members of this genus, but this one is actually a native. So this is these Southern Hemisphere pampas grasses. This is again Austroderia, not to be confused with Cordaderia, which is another horticultural atrocity in California that is from Chile. But regardless, this whole tribe of grasses seems to do very well in the Southern Hemisphere. You can see these beautiful blades. Look at that. Long grass blades, big inflorescences, little tufts, and then that big volcano in the background. Lots of cool stuff growing up there. So we're going to head up to Whakapapa. Looks like Whakapapa when you write it out. We're going to see what else is going on up there. Let's go. So, you know, there's massive ditches everywhere. Very treacherous terrain to walk through. Just all this scrub, you can see it just drops about 4 feet right there. Glycinia alpina is that forked fern right there. Got Leptospermum scoparium. And I can't really get close enough to those conifer trees, those cone-shaped trees, to see what they are. They're probably Nothophagus, southern beech trees. Got tons of Phormium here too. All in all, a very interesting landscape, but I'm not going out there because there's ditches every, I don't know, 8 feet that just drop off 4 or 5 feet down. There we go. So it's conical in shape, and it almost looks like it could be a conifer, but it's a Nothophagus species. So it's a relative of oaks. Look at those sprays of leaves. Look at the geometry on that Nothophagus cliffordioides, because it looks like the genus Cliffordia, which is in the rose family and unrelated to Nothophagus. Cliffordia is a really cool genus you get down there in South Africa. Tons of speciation. A distant relative of oaks, the Southern Hemisphere beeches. Nothophagaceae is the family, found on all the Southern Hemisphere continents. Actually, I don't think it's in South Africa, but certainly Australasia, New Caledonia. You got tropical ones in New Caledonia with very large leaves. Also got it in Chile. Very interesting species, and ectomycorrhizal as well. And look at that, elegant, with all the clouds on, all the moisture up there. Another volcano, Volcano Alley right here, Mount Narahoe. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so I'm just gonna lean into it. Narahoe. See Mount Narahoe over there? Look, almost like Mount Fuji. So nice. Who's done a nice lino cut of Mount Fuji? I mean Narahoe. Look at it. Just got the invasives here bad. Look at this down here. You got Coluna ericaceae, a non-native. Tons of members of the cypress family are non-native here. I saw Thuya naturalizing, the arborvitae, Cupressus macrocarpa naturalizing. Oh, this is a cool one, Dracophyllum. This is a Dracophyllum, Ericaceae, the Southern Hemisphere of pacrids. Just looks like you know, a bunch of little orange and green lines, like a broom. Look at the fucking lichens on these. God, this is insane. So much lichen diversity, real nice. See, this Dracophyllum kind of epitomizes why studying biology is cool, biology and evolution. So this, in other forests, in other places, in other regions of both New Zealand and Tasmania, this forms a large tree. Here, it's just a small broom-like shrub. So variation on a theme, a new species of Dracophyllum to me that is so different from all the rest. Look at that landscape. You can see where they just cleared a bunch for pasture land over there. It's okay. This is a national park though, so this stuff's protected. Okay, so we're a little bit higher up now. It's still chilly as hell. We're in this shady understory, and this is really cool ecologically to see what this species of Astelia is doing. Of course, there's numerous species of Astelia. It's a very species-rich genus, como se dice, here in New Zealand. And you can see these are conspicuous fruits it's producing out of those inflorescences. And here's the little berries. So conspicuous because it wants to get noticed, if I can anthropomorphize for a little bit, by birds, by birds that would otherwise be crawling around on the ground looking for conspicuous fruits, and end up eating the fruit and then shitting out the seed somewhere and dispersing it. And how this thing grows in such a shady understory is kind of beyond me, but pretty cool. You know what it's doing. You could see what it's doing. Lots of adaptation to bird dispersal here. Wonder if birds, if they're foraging primarily by, visual, or if they're obviously probably not smelling too much. They're mostly just looking for the shiny shits, and sometimes they might end up picking up some of those secodioid fungi that have evolved here too. Delia again, really cool. And down here at the base of this podocarp, we got this cool moss, Dendroligotrichum, another stalked coalescent moss. The moss diversity here is insane. Never really, I gotta be honest, I was never really into moss. Never really gave a shit about moss before I came down here. But I've just seen some really cool variations on that form that have, look, you can't even see this. You can't even see the bark. It's just covered in so many epiphytes, bryophytes, lichens, filmy ferns, all kinds of stuff. And of course, going for more conspicuous bird dispersal, we got Caprosma, a species of Caprosma, which is in Rubiaceae. They're basically wind-pollinated members of the coffee family. Ah, Christ, if I could get up there. Got Phyllocladus all around too. Phyllocladus and Nothofagus. Phyllocladus is another cool podocarp. I had 2 seeds inside, like most Caprosma. There you go, there's a Phyllocladus seedling. Celery pine it's called. No relation to pines and no relation to celery, but that's why we don't use common names. I guess you could call it that, but just you got to know a little footnote. Common names are wrong. So Phyllocladus, there's a seedling, and they can get into, 30, 40 foot tall trees here. I think this is alpina. I think there's 3 or 4 species of Phyllocladus in New Zealand. Apparently they're very shade tolerant and also very cold tolerant too. Really wonderful trees with very hard wood, especially for a conifer. And again, bird dispersed cones, bird dispersed seeds. There you go, another species of Caprosma. This one with almost translucent, they're pearly white fruits. Conspicuous regardless. You always got to wonder about certain genera that seem to be so species rich, having so many variations on them. Obviously they're doing something well in a particular environment. Here we go, cool member Ericaceae, and not one of the epacrid, so not in the epacrid subfamily. This is a member of the genus Gualtheria, which you also get that genus, it's pretty much all over the world. Conspicuous little fruits, again going for the bird dispersal. Look at those small leaves with the serrate margin on them. Look at the stickris ferns, Glyciniaceae. Nice silvery undersides, the forked fern family. See, they got a fork in there. Feels like plastic. Nice pseudopanax up there. Nothofagus and Phyllocladus everywhere. Got a damn species of Veronica. There's so many down here. Look at how lovely this Nothofagus is perched above this bubbling brook. You got the volcano in the background up there with all the snow and stuff on it. You got Ostroderia down there. The native pampas grass, which, we're so used to seeing cordideria, by all the homeless camps along the freeway in California. It's nice to see a native one. Right there, you got a nice Phyllocladus alpinus. Look, you got a nice farina on those leaves too. You see that? That silvery farina, that silvery epicuticular wax. Incredible forest, man. Here's Pseudopanax arborea, about to go to fruit. You see dark fruits. English ivy family. English ivy is pretty terrible. But again, don't let that make you knock the family. Carrot order Apiales, but Aureliaceae is the family there. And this one's really cool. This is a member of the genus Coriaria from Coriariaceae. Has nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the genus Frankia, and the leaves is also quite toxic. And the only other time I've seen a Coriaria was in Mexico. It was Coriaria rucifolia. This one doesn't get too tall. Notable disjunction though. New Zealand, Mexico, where else you get the Coriarias? Cool coprosma, another coprosma. There's the fruit, that orange berry, and there's that Gaultheria again. A little bit older fruits. Look at this guy, member of the sunflower family, not going off, so we can't get it down to genus. Probably Olearia or Ozothamnus. Look at the white undersides to those leaves. Olearia, of course, very common genus. You get it in Tasmania as well. Many of them are trees. But just those imbricate leaves, utterly gorgeous. What do the flowers look like? Look at that. So you get lahars coming down here, you know. Pyroclastic mud flows out of hot stuff. Still very active. Wonderful landscape though. Now as we climb higher, the landscape just gets weirder and more bizarre. We have a ton of cool stuff growing on this surface of Mars type environment, including the world's tiniest conifer, Lepidothamnus laxifolius. Which you can see right here, flushing orange, just looking like a little coral growing up against that basaltic andesite. So got this Arctic moss everywhere. This species of Dracophyllum is pretty weird, especially considering Dracophyllum is usually a 30 to 40 foot tall tree. But up here in an alpine environment, you've of course gotten ones that have evolved to the conditions up here to just grow along the ground where it's warmer and stay out of those harsh cold winds. Look at it, flushing red and orange. Protective anthocyanin pigments. All right. In this stressful environment, there's that species of Gaultheria as well. Blueberry family Ericaceae. Ramotrichum lanuginosum is this moss right here, this Arctic moss. You can see coating the ground like wool. Another wonderful specimen of that Lepidothamnus, the world's tiniest conifer. So this must be an old growth one. Can't be too old growth because we're prone to rather violent eruptions pretty frequently from that volcano. Let's take a look at these leaves and this weird bastard. Look at it. You see those decussate scales? Oh, how soothing. But again, flush and orange. Probably because it's so cold. It must warm up to a better, a more productive green color, possibly, when it warms up. See, there's some needles that are a little bit more spread open. So it's just a little orange bastard looking like some sort of coralloid thing growing up here in the alpine zone with all the tundra moss and the Dracophyllum. So many cool southern hemisphere podocarps, man. 2 species in the genus Lepidothamnus. And of course, since it's so damn cold here, we get the tundra moss Rhacomitrium lanuginosum, forming a nice little white velvet all over the landscape and a nice background for both the Dracophyllum and this member of Asteraceae in the genus Salmisia. Salmisia spectabilis. Nice rosette leaves, bright white abaxial surface to those leaves. Look at it. Look how much fuzz. You got all the velvet. So velvety and woolly. Down here we got a cool little carrot, Anastome aromatica. Looks apiaceous. The leaves look apiaceous. Having a flower there would certainly help a lot more. But little rosette leaves, yeah, definitely parsley family there. Another species of Gaultheria, blueberry family. Gorgeous leaves on that. You can see it's might be getting ready to flower there. Look at those bracts. Look at the leaves too. The leaves on this plant are incredible. And then a cool Lycopodium as well. See that? Just growing in the nooks and crannies up against this it's like basaltic andesite, it looks like. Look at that Dracophyllum. God, that's so weird. What a weird landscape. So much good stuff here. The Caluna's kind of a drag though. It's invasive. It's an invasive Ericad. An invasive blueberry. Oh, look at the ice needles. And there we go. Another cool alpine podocarp, Podocarpus nivalis, the snow podocarp. Creeping along the ground, gently hugging a rock, flushing all those carotenoid pigments because it's stressed from the frickin' cold. Wonder if it changes to a greener color during summer. Might be the case. Right now it's just trying to protect itself. Let's take a look at you can see this, it's got this nice woody habit down there. Look at that. So Halocarpus can be a huge tree, 12 foot, 14 foot diameter, or it can be a small prostrate shrub, subshrub crawling along the ground in a cold volcanic environment. High up. And down here we got a cool species of Veronica, which is evolutionarily converged on the form that's appropriate for this kind of environment, this alpine environment. Veronica tetragona. You know, it almost looks like a podocarp, almost looks like a conifer. Decussate leaves. Imbricate, just like roofing shingles, like snake scales. Don't you just love decussate needles, decussate foliage? It's so soothing, you know? Every time, I feel like, renting a U-Haul truck and driving it into the health insurance headquarters or a bank or something, I just look at a picture of a imbricate foliage and it calms me right down. Very attractive here. Doesn't get very tall. But again, you can see, like, even that Kaluna, that invasive Kaluna is flushing red. Everything's flushing because of the cold. Look, Lepidothamnus everywhere. Dotting the ground like coral on an ocean floor. God, it's so weird. Such a cool landscape. Again, you could see how different species evolve to different environments. So this volcano is very active, but you could see they got their houses built all up there and what this shit. Different, ski lodges, ski mansions, all that kind of stuff. So when the lahars go off, those volcanic mudflows, I think they go down a channel on the other side of the mountain, but surely this will all be destroyed in the coming centuries at some point. Anyway, moving on right down, we can see this Dracophyllum recurvum is just having a field day up here in this alpine environment. You can see it's covering all this. Look at it, see that? You got it everywhere. Beautiful color, beautiful maroon color. And down here we got Brachyglottis. We got a species of Brachyglottis, which is basically a senecio. So sunflower family, Asteraceae. Brachyglottis bidwillii is this guy. Again, glabrous leaves up top, but then look how fuzzy they are on the undersides. See that? Adaptations probably to the freeze too, but also no doubt the ultraviolet's probably somewhat intense here in summer, and it tends to dry out because it's such a rocky environment. But no doubt there's an adaptive benefit. There's certainly an advantage to having hairs in a cold place as well. This cold, dry environment. Brachyglottis, another species-rich genus down here. You get quite a few of them. Shrubs. Could be large shrubs, small trees. This is nice. Notched up against this little base of this basaltic andesite, we got a species in the genus Raoulio, which is in the paper daisy tribe of the sunflower family, Asteraceae. And look at these leaves. You can see the old spent involucres right there. You see the receptacles, basically. The phyllaries all splayed out. Look at those leaves. Silvery leaves, a little bit red towards the center of the plant. Gorgeous as hell. Little rosette leaves, stalked rosette leaves. Just incredible. Raoulio is another species-rich genus that does very well in these alpine environments. A lot of people I know used to grow them in the Bay Area, but they were hard because coastal California or high elevation are probably the only places they would do well in the United States, higher elevation. But look at it, though. The leaves are incredible. It's not even flowering, but it's already, you can tell it's a banger. Look at this scoria and all kinds of different volcanic cinders and stuff, all kinds of nice stuff all over the ground. You ever been banned or had been forcibly removed from an alpine lodge, from a ski lodge? You ever been thrown out of a ski lodge, rejected? It's definitely on my list. It probably wouldn't be too hard to do either. You got a lot of rich stiffs hanging out in those places. Probably be fun to get ejected from one. Banned from the lodge. Banned from the lodge. You got banned from the lodge. Banned from the lodge. You got banned from the lodge. Banned from... Look at this. Another species of Selmisia. A very exceptional one. Selmisia incana. Look at, it's damn near pure white. Looks very stark. Okay, stark contrast to this dark basaltic andesite you got down here, where it just forms this black background. This is another species of Selmisia, which we already seen. Selmisia spectabilis. Also going for the rosette leaves. I told you there's a lot of different Selmisias up here, but look at that guy. Fuzzy white. Again, just covered in the fuzz, protecting from the frost, protecting from the sun. can't grow very fast, I'd assume, because it's, you know, it's probably a slow cooker in terms of photosynthesis. I mean, how does any light reach those leaves? It's just coated in a jacket. I bet light gets through there. Bet it gets through there pretty easy. I mean, it's got full exposure right here, so won't be a problem. And you can see, oh look, there's a little seedling over there. And that Dracophyllum again. Blueberry family, one of the apacarids. From a genus that can get 30 to 40 feet tall, but here it's just forming this dominant mat, the dominant carpet. So nice. Have you ever been banned from a lodge? Look at it. You got to look around. You see all the pumice and scoria everywhere. It's going to be in a Crime Pays Etsy store. Okay? You know, for all the cosmetics. We're selling cosmetics now. What the shit is this? That looks nice. Oh my God. Oh, that's just a... I have no idea. You got that weird lycopod again. See that? Coming up against the Rachymetrium. That moss, Ramotrichum rachymetrium. It's all the same. Not really, but it's for the sake of this video it is. I love lycopods, don't you? There's so many freaking lycopods here. Look at it, it's so graceful, just crawling into nooks and crannies. Oh yeah, see, there you go. You got the nice mountain. It's getting covered in a fog. It's a volcano, actually. Shouldn't say mountain. Let's not downgrade it. And then we got Lepidothamnus, the world's tiniest conifer. Again, looking bizarre as hell and flushed orange. Certainly greener in the summertime when it's not cold and it's not under as much stress. But a lot of plants from cold environments, that's how they cope with stress. They flush orange and red. A lot of conifers will do that especially. Lepidothamnus never bothered nobody. See, he just wants to be left alone. He's just doing his thing there. You don't gotta go bother him. There you go. See that Lepidothamnus I showed you before? That seed was missing the podocarpium, the baitberry, the arrow, the fleshy stalk to that megastrobilus, which is so good at getting them birds to go in there, go for the baitberry, inadvertently swallow the seed, then shit out the seed somewhere. So apparently, you know, you get birds up here, you get them digging through there, you know, looking for stuff. Okay, you know, just like an old Russian lady in Chicago, you know, or old Ukrainian lady, Ukrainian village, you know, going through the Aldi, what they put out on the side of the road over there, you know. This is hilarious. There's actually something flowering right now, and it's a little rosetted bastard. You can see that guy right there, Urushiol volcanica. How is it doing it with how cold it is? Plantagenaceae, the family there. Looks like you got a bunch of hairs, a bunch of trichomes on the inside of that corolla. Only see 2 stamens poking out right there. Should have 4 stamens total. And there's those little rosette leaves. Dentate margins on them. Dentate and a little bit red. And then there's that Clotheria as well. You know, the light meters on these cameras are really getting messed up from the black background. Look at that thing. How you do that? I did see a fly out here, and it didn't look like a shit fly. I seen a fly flying around. Everything adapts, you know. Everything adapts to being banned from the lodge eventually. See, that Urushiol is everywhere. You can kind of go by color. That Dracophyllum certainly seems to be dominant. That creeping Dracophyllum. And there's that Brachyglottis bidwillii. Look at it. What a lovely plant. You see that? With those velvety white undersides. Look, you got that Brachyglottis up there. Not getting too tall, but sure looking sharp. You got all kinds of... I'm willing to bet that's Podocarpus nivalis up there. Nice. Yeah, that's Podocarpus nivalis. Nice. See that? Flushing orange. Flushing nice orangish yellow. Again, it'll be green in the summer when it warms up, but the stress pigments are giving it that orange coloration. Flush with all the pumice and scoria to scrape your bunions off. Soon available in the Crime Pays Etsy store, the Etsy boutique, with all the other cosmetics, face rubs, balms, and ash rash gels. That's a nice Brachyglottis. Look, a monocolous Brachyglottis. A mini bonsai tree right there. The velvet, these leaves are so thick. Holy hell. Look what's going on down there. Well, you got that little bend in the road down there. It looks like you got a little bit more green life, a little bit more organic material. Nice. So with the sun to our north, that means we're looking west towards Mount Taranaki. It really is a volcanic wonderland down here. All kinds of good stuff when you got that subduction zone to the east. You know, one plate going beneath the other, causing volcanism further inland. Look at that, that's a beautiful volcano. Well, I can't really feel my hands anymore, so we're gonna head down slope a little bit, see what's going on down there. Look at that, looking just like a juniper. We got another species of Halocarpus. Looking just like a juniper, we got another Halocarpus. Podocarpaceae is the family. You can see them little, it looks like the cones are gone. Oh no, maybe not. See, there's the Megastrobilus. More decussate scales. God, they're so weird. Just forming this little shrub, doesn't get taller than 4 feet right here. Hey, you got a couple bigger ones over there. More of that Dracophyllum, Ericaceae. Looks like Filiforme, could also be subulatum. Glycinia alpina. Chianoclua, this snowgrass. You got a Dracophyllum up there. A lot more vegetation down here. Look down below it, Phyllocladus was forming a large tree. Here it's dwarfed. It's crumholz. The top's out at like 4 or 5 feet. Got that Halocarpus right there. This Podocarpaceae forming that orange, all that orange over there. Podocarpus nivalis, of course, right there. Nice backdrop of Dracophyllum and a Glycinia alpina. That's nice. Look, you got ice floating in a stream, creating very weird visuals, bending the light every which way. I wonder what that stuff is down there. Some sort of algae, I suppose. Very bizarre environment here. I didn't even see the Ligerostrobus right there. Those little orange strings, little orange danglers. Now, descending down the volcano a little bit, you can see we're in a little bit more of a forested area. We got that Austroderia, that native version of the pampas grass right there with those inflorescences blowing ever so gracefully in the wind. And just beyond, you can see we got a species of cordyline, which is, of course, a good example of convergent evolution, convergently taking on the same form as yucca. All right, they're both monocots in the asparagus order, but other than that, they're not really related at all. Look at that. It's so weird to see a cordyline growing here. Some of them 20 feet tall. Those are actually quite tall. That's down slope from us too. We've seen some back on a ridge that were pretty large. Yeah, there you go. There's some nice cordyline up there. That's a massive one. Look at that. That's got to be 4 feet across, growing up there just above the pseudopanax and the next to the Notophagus. Look at these things. Got to be, it drops below freezing here at night for sure. And these things are just, look at it. You got a 20-foot tall monocot. With that, look at it, it's got that shaggy coat too of the old leaves. It's nice. It's got to be insulating, keep it warm. Lomandroideae is the subfamily of Asparagaceae, the family Asparagaceae. You know, they really remember they recircumscribed that whole goddamn order, and so they lumped a bunch of stuff, reclassified families as subfamilies, and put them all into a much larger and broader Asparagaceae. Either way, it's a cool fucking plant. Very cold tolerant, and just doing a whole monocallus thing up here, looking just like a yucca. Look at the underside of that, the leaves of that cordyline indivice. It is a very beautiful tree. This is another genus that gets way overused in California horticulture, but goddamn, man, when you see somewhere it's native, entirely different. Lovely, huh? Look at that, here you get those opposite leaves, kind of alternating in whorls. Another species of Veronica. There's so many of them. We just seen some up there in the alpine zone looking like conifers. Basically doing this with their leaves, but shortening the nodes and shortening the leaves so that they just look like a damn juniper of some kind. There's the old, there's the fruits, the old inflorescence. A little bit further down the mountain, we're now in a Notophagus forest. Looking up, you could see that mean-ass raspberry, Rubus cystoides, which they call the bush lawyer because it just hooks onto you and snags you. Climbing up, look at that thing, the thing's all over the place. No doubt using those hooks to climb as well. Here's the Notophagus, the leaves of that Notophagus. Look at that massive cordyline and divisa. Holy shit, just growing right here on the outskirts of this shady, in a clearing in this shady Nothofagus forest. Look at that thing. It's got those leaves all over the ground. These leaves, of course, it was probably used some sort of fiber production. I think they called it mountain flax. Got that Phyllocladus alpinus right there. We got this cool Libocedrus bidwillii, the only genus in the redwood family that occurs here in New Zealand. Looking almost like a thuya. Yeah, see, there's a large Libocedrus. Look at the bark on it. Look how gorgeous that bark is. 4 species in the genus, 2 here and 2 in New Caledonia. There might be 1 more in New Guinea, but I think it's 4. Gorgeous bark. And right here we got this weird bastard, Manoao collensoi, member of the podocarp family, Podocarpaceae. Just a single tree, or a single seedling that a bird shit out, probably while it was hanging out up in the canopy of this little Libocedrus right here. Look at this. You got epiphytes on everything. Look at that, where the old branches have abscised. Those beautiful knots. This is such a gorgeous genus, man. I've seen Libocedrus yateensis up there in New Caledonia, which is a much different environment. Equally wet, but subtropical, and you got that ultramafic soil up there as well. Cool genus, remnants of Gondwana. How many Libocedrus at one point grew on Antarctica? Got your Dendropanax right there. So anyway, Manoao, however the shit you pronounce that, collensoi, it's a monotypic genus. It's only 1 species in the genus, and interestingly enough, it came out closest in a phylogeny, molecularly speaking, after looking at DNA. It came out close to Lagerostrobus franklinii, aka the Huon pines down there in Tasmania, which are incredibly long-lived, wonderful trees that grow in the temperate rainforests of Tasmania, or what's left of them at least. Very slow-growing trees too, and it does actually look a lot like Lagerostrobus, so it's quite likely the two are indeed most closely related to each other in the family Podocarpaceae. Yeah, this one's almost prettier than Plumosa. The foliage is prettier on Libocedrus plumosa, but the bark on Libocedrus bidwillii is certainly more gorgeous. Such cool forests. Everything is green. Everything's covered in epiphytes. Numerous relict species, como se dice, of conifer. Phyllocladus alpinus, for example. Real old lineage right there. Those damn weird cordylines. God, that's so cool. Keeping her skirts on them. Keeping her shaggy. They're old leaves. Look at that Libocedrus right there. There's a nice money shot at the full-grown tree. There's that rubus again. Hell of a raspberry. Those undersides of those leaves covered in those cat claw fishhook thorns. This is hilarious. The genus Caprosma, so many species in it down here. Coffee family Rubiaceae. Caprosma, capro, meaning shit. And it's because it was the type species of the genus, I believe, but this is what gives it its name, is that Caprosma fetidissima, you crush those leaves up, it smells just like a fart. Like it smells like a kale fart. It's incredible. So some sort of sulfide compound probably being produced in those leaves. Nice deterrent herbivory. Seems to work for it. Christ, it smells like hell. Here's another Manoao. It's a little bit bigger. Manoao. Jesus Christ. It's a hell of a genus name. Lucky it's only got 1 species. If there was to be pronouncing it a lot more. But you can see the fruits on it. Well, not fruits. Cones. Megastrobili right there. See? Little navy blue seed. A little navy blue Megastrobilus. That's not a good example. Let's look at the one where you can see the actual baitberry. There you go. Much better visual for that. Oh, that doesn't even really have a fleshy arrow. It's just sitting in those 2 bracts. Little seed like that. See that? God, the podocarp's going to be so hard. That's a beautiful Megastrobilus, though, if I do say so myself. And look at the bark. Wonderful white color. Patina of different lichens and other microorganisms growing on it. And that damn, is that the Nothofagus cliffordioides? Which one is this? I don't know. There's so many different species of Nothofagus, too. Grown beneath the Nothofagus. You can see the Manoao. That one's about, I don't know, 12 feet tall. And right there you got Halocarpus, Halocarpus bidwillii, right next to another Manoao. See, so they look a lot alike. Real clusterfuck of morphology here, okay? In terms of this age of Jurassic conifers. These are different species. Halocarpus bidwillii, denser foliage, right? Especially much denser branching pattern. They're on the right, and then Manoao's got a little bit more spread out. Likes to spread it out, a little more coalescent, not forming a bush. See, growing more upwards. You got a shit ton of Halocarpus over there. Look at that forest. Presume that's a large Libocedrus over there. Oh yeah, look at that. That's Libocedrus bidwillii. That beautiful bastard, looking like our native Calocedrus decurrens in the northern hemisphere. Whole understory, different podocarps, Dracophyllum, Glycinia alpina. Chilly as hell, and there's that volcano. Look at this, another Dracophyllum species. Ericaceae, blueberry family. That's wild. Filamentous foliage. Growing broom-like. Just like the same genus as that little bastard we saw crawling along the ground. Same genus as the ones that get 40 feet tall and form small trees in the understory of the Nothophagus forest. There's a Megastrobolus. There's a couple Megastroboli waiting to get pollen dumped on them. Really looking Lagerostrobos like right there. It's a Megastroboli. It's a couple different Megastroboli at anthesis. A Megastrobolus at anthesis. And you can see right here, they call it Halocarpus biformis for a reason. You got dimorphic leaves. You got those scale-like leaves, which so many podocarps have. And then you have these more flattened, splayed-out leaves that look more like the actual genus Podocarpus, not just the scale leaves of so many members of the family Podocarpaceae. Nice volcanic creek. It's all volcanic rock down there. See all that stuff? Nice Libocedrus up there. Nice cupressoid conifer. Pseudopanax, Leptospermum. Tons of stickris like fern. Phyllocladus. And it's chilly as hell. It's very cold up here. Look at the size of this Libocedrus, man. Look at that bark. It's spiraling around. What a beast. What a magnificent beast of a tree. Look, it's so thick and bulbous. You got these nice burrows on there. What'd you find down there?
Hidden them. Look at those spines.
Jesus Christ. Tell us about this, Alan.
Hidden is ectomycorrhizal. It makes the spores on these spines here. Typically a very good edible, very diverse genus, a lot of different species.
This is a tiny one, huh? Just this one, huh?
Yeah.
Probably ectomycorrhizal with the Nothophagus. It's coming up at the base of a Phyllocladus, but it's tapped into something. Podocarp dungeon, look at it. Looking like a U. That's that Halocarpus biformis. See, do you see what it's doing? Or why is it doing that, huh? Trying to disguise itself? What's going on? Does one collect a different, one leaf type collect a different, maybe it's for understory? I don't know. Who knows, you know? I'm having enough trouble trying to figure these out from Manoao. Look at that Libocedrus bidwillii. What a great tree. Some massive bastards down there. So what do we got here? We got another ectomycorrhizal cordinarius, ectomycorrhizal with the Nothophagus. Look at the color on it. What do you think about this one, Alan?
That's an awesome color. We don't have quartz that color in the United States.
This right here, we got Raukawa edgarlii, another member of Aureliaceae. So many damn Aurelia. Almost looks like a pseudopanax. I think it used to be in the genus pseudopanax. See, it's not getting that big. Look at this. This is, I presume this is about as big as that Halocarpus biformis gets. It's forming a little shrub. Yeah, like maybe a small tree. Maybe it'll get bigger than that. Of course, we got Nothophagus and Phyllocladus up above. You can see, why does it do that? Why does it do that? Why the dimorphic leaves, huh? Just take a look at that Gondwanan forest. Look past the Nothophagus. Look at all that. Libocedrus, Nothophagus, Phyllocladus. See, the Libocedrus, they get a nice columnar form. They don't branch out too much. Looking like almost like little bonsais. Just growing here on the side of a frickin' volcano. Little Libocedrus seedling popping up next to the Astelia and a Coprosma. Alright, well, it's getting cold right here. I'm freezing my ass off. You got all kinds of nice Nothophagus, the southern beaches. Nice view of a conical Libocedrus up there. I'm going to let it go here. That's all I got. Have a good rest of the evening. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Real nice stuff on this volcano, huh? How many different lichens you got here? Huh? Another Coprosma. The snake eyes Coprosma. Oh yeah, another Veronica. One of like 90 species in New Zealand. But this is problematic right here. You got this track with no, you know, could fall off, hurt yourself, catch a suit. I don't think they got personal injury attorneys here though. I haven't seen any of the shitty billboards. The United States is littered with them. Oh, this is a nice vignette right here. You got Halocarpus, bidwillii. You got your Libocedrus back there. Well, there's a Libocedrus back there. You got your Dracophyllum. Where the shit did it go? I just see it. There you go. Ericaceae. You got Glycinia alpina, the forked ferns. I think that's Halocarpus bidwillii. Biformis seems to be more of an understory tree, and it definitely has two forms on all plants. Look, you got your Phyllocladus, can be a tree or a little shrub. Looks like absolute hell to try and walk through, but we're not going to do that. We're just commenting on how dense the vegetation is, how dense the veg is. Remarkable habitat. And freezing, it's about 38 degrees Fahrenheit right now. What is that, 4 Celsius? That's a nice form to the Halocarpus. Look, bonsai. No doubt due to the very cold temperatures up here. There's a larger one over there. Alan, you like the Halocarpus? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, this bark, it looks almost like an elephant trunk.
Very old, very dense. You got lichens on everything. Certainly wouldn't like it too hot. You'd think if you took Halocarpus to Florida, it'd probably hate it. But I think if you took a lot of people to Florida, they'd probably hate it. Nice shit. I know a lot of Floridians who hate it. No offense to anybody in Florida. I got to put that disclaimer out there. TouchMyHalocarpus.com. TouchMyMountRuapehu.com. How many avalanches have happened up there? SkiingAccident.com. All right, everything's fun and games till someone, mixes booze with skiing, and next thing you know, you got avalanches, and you got all, rampant cases of diarrhea from some bad seafood you ate at the Alpine Lodge that you got banned from. Things just go downhill. You're better off just coming out here and paying homage to Halocarpus because it's a wonderful genus of conifer. Got 3 species here in the North Island. It is biformis. It's not bidwillii. Look at that. I don't know what's going on, but you got these different leaves. Now that we're in the shade, but out there you got just the juniper-like leaves. So what's really going on? Who's really going to tell what's happening here? It's pretty confusing, huh? See, new species of Podocarpus. This guy just appeared. Could be a hybrid between Totara and Nivalis, the snow Podocarp. You do in fact get that. You get a hybrid on this mountain somewhere. Beautiful red bark on it. So much resembling a yew. God, it's getting shady. It's getting too shady to film. That's a nice view. It's a lot of Nothophagus clifordioides as well. As well as the Halocarpus and the Phyllocladus. Just a goddamn dungeon of Podocarps and Nothophagus. And of course Libocedrus. It is freezing up here. That's all lava. Volcanic legacy number 2. Kinds of cool grasses down there. We're reaching a little flatter area. You got that Salmisia down there. Ooh, look how white that is. Glycinia. There's a lot like alpine regions of Tasmania too. These southern hemisphere alpine regions really blow my mind. Because you notice it's probably what Antarctica looked like for a few million years before it fully froze over. Look at all that. That's all Arestio down there. I believe it's Empodisma minor. See, where's the Athrotaxis though? Was Athrotaxis ever in New Zealand, or did it go extinct? What happened? It feels just like Tasmania. Of course, Tasmania wouldn't have the volcano, but you'd have plenty of Athrotaxis. I think that grass is Kianacloa rubra. This is a nice landscape, but they need a hot tub and some Christmas lights up here. Oh, that's nice up there. Despite how cold it is. Such wonderful forests. The Nothofagus, the Dracophyllum, Libocedrus. Tree 4 different species of podocarps. You get your pseudopanax. Well worth it. Anyway, that's all I got for you this evening. Hopefully you got some out of that. Have a good rest of your day. Go fuck yourself. Bye.